One of the greatest areas of confusion for marketers is consent. In this short video, we'll be sharing what consent is, the elements needed to make it lawful, and how long it lasts. So, what is consent? Consent is one of the lawful bases within both the GDPR and PECA legislation. It falls into three broad categories. Implied consent, where a data subject provides informal consent by their actions. So, this would be things like swapping a business card at an event, which is implied consent to contact them. Implicit consent, where a data subject freely agrees for their personal information to be used for specific purposes, and this can be verbal or in writing. And explicit consent, where a data subject gives an express statement of consent, which is usually in writing. Receiving lawful consent. Not all consent is lawful, particularly in cases where an individual feels coerced into consenting. So, if you're getting consent from someone, bear in mind that consent must be freely given, which means giving them genuine ongoing choices and control over how you use their data. Unambiguous. You can't confuse someone into opting into something. This is most commonly done on websites in relation to marketing. Specific. It must cover the controller's name and purpose of the processing, and ideally expressed in words, rather than by any other positive action. How long does consent last? There is absolutely no legal time limit on how long consent lasts. However, its time limit should really depend on the context. If you're regularly in contact with the data subject, you can assume the consent still remains valid. However, if you don't contact them for a long time, this might not be the case. An example of this in relation to marketing is as follows. If you ran a small graphic design company and did not contact an individual for 3 years after their purchase, it's very difficult to justify the consent provided is still valid. However, if you ran a car dealership and the customer purchased the car on a 5-year finance plan, it would be completely justifiable for you to contact them 5 years after that initial purchase. Need to know more? Consider taking our comprehensive one-day marketing and the law course.